Shalom Yisrael. First and foremost, I want to give Kal Halal Yahweh, Bahasham Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. That's to say, all praise to Yahweh in the name of the anointed Yahweh Shai. Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, and Yahweh Shai being the name of the man that the world ignorantly calls Jesus. This is Torah Monday number 6. Back with Torah Monday. Today, we're going to be going over, not so much going over this week, or breaking down, or more just reading this chapter. It's the chapter that one of the opening precepts comes from, so we'll just start with that opening precept. This is Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 17. Ye shall diligently keep the commandments of the Lord your God, and his testimonies and his statutes which he hath commanded thee. So you need to diligently keep the commandments. We are commanded to keep the commandments with diligence, right? To make sure we're keeping them, and to, you know, you can't be half-assed in this. You've got to be full on. You've got to be all the way in, right? You can't be lukewarm. Just like it says in Revelation chapter 3, verse 16. I get that. Revelation chapter 3, verse 16. I start 15. I know thy works, that thou art neither hot nor cold nor hot. I would thou wert hot, thou wert cold or hot, Salakia. So then, because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. So you can't be doing a bit of righteousness and a bit of wickedness. You can't be sitting in the middle. Like, you're not all the way hot, right? You're not all the way cold. You're not all the way righteous. You're not all the way wicked. You're kind of trying to do both. Hey, you're going to get spewed out. If you do wickedness, you're getting spewed out anyway. But if you're sitting on the fence, you can't sit on the fence in this thing and think that you're just going to make it to the kingdom, right? You can't be lukewarm. You got to be, if you're going to be wicked, just be wicked. If you're going to be righteous, just be righteous. Of course, I'm telling you, I'm not telling anyone to be wicked. But don't think that you can just be halfway. 1 week you're doing righteousness, the next week you're doing wickedness, and you think you're going to make it. That's not how this works, right? So you need to be diligent in these commandments, right? You need to keep them diligently, okay? Keep the commandments diligently. Make sure you're keeping them, right? And then our second opening precept, Joshua chapter 1, verse 8. It says, this book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein, for then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. So, when it says, this book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, it's not saying you can't speak about it. It's actually telling you to speak about it day and night, to meditate therein day and night. And this goes back to Deuteronomy chapter 6, the chapter we're going to read, how you need to deal with it day and night, right? You know, in the morning, read some law. Think about the law. Meditate on the law. In the evening, do the same. And that's what this Torah Monday is for, because on the second day of the week, Monday, I want to encourage brothers to be steadfast in this law, right? To be meditating in this law. A lot of us, we don't read or meditate on the law day and night. Now, obviously, it's not just saying, like, make time in the morning. It's not about just do it all day. That's basically what it says. It's being constantly doing it, right? That's why it shall not depart out of thy mouth. That's what it means. It means that you won't stop speaking about it, right? It's not saying that it has to be in every single conversation, but you should speak according to the law, right? Don't be speaking foolishness and perverseness. And also, it needs to be constant. It needs to be always on your mind. You need to always be thinking about the law, right? You need to be always living by it, because this is how we live. It's not just something, it's not just a game, it's not just a hobby, it's not just something that we picked up, it's not Christianity, where we pick it up on a Sunday and put it down for the rest of the week. No, this is real life, bro. This is every day. This is an everyday thing for us, right? This is our heritage, this is our life. So this is how we're supposed to live, so it's supposed to be constantly in your mind. That's why it says, write them for a sign upon thine hand. Bind them for a sign upon thine hand and write them between the foreheads. Basically, between the forehead means you need to meditate on it, have it in your mind. Right? It's not saying literally write it right there. It's saying constantly have it in your mind, right? When it says to bind it on for a sign upon your hand, it's saying, you know, that's your works. You need to do it. Right? So you need to be meditating on it and doing it. So, let me grab that actually. Deuteronomy chapter 4. Or is it chapter 6? Or about to read. Yeah. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 8, and thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thine hand, and they shall be as frontlets between thine eyes. Right? So that basically just means you need to meditate on them, think about them, and do them. Right? That's what that's going into. Right? It says, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night. This is back to Joshua chapter 1 verse 8. That thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. So if you meditate on it day and night, you're going to do all that's written in therein. Because you'll know the law better, you'll understand the law better, so you're going to do it better, and then you're going to do everything according to how it's written, right? If you learn 4 laws, and you stop there, you're not going to do according to all that is written therein. You're going to do some of what's written therein. But if you're meditating on it day and night, and increasing in all areas over time, you're going to master the law. That's just the way it is. You're going to master it, because look, how easily did we master Christmas and Easter and keeping these filthy holidays, and how well did we master to get the bacon just right, just crispy enough, right? How well did we master, all these things, right? How well did we master that? Because we did it all the time. We was constantly doing it, right? It's sad because we we can name when Christmas is, we can name when Halloween is, we can name when Guy Fawkes night is, right? We can name people in America. They can name when Thanksgiving is. You can name when Easter is. You can name when all these pagan customs and pagan holidays are. But can you name when Passover is? Can you name these things? What day of the month is that on? Right? What day of the month? How do you count Pentecost? How do you figure out when Pentecost is? You feel me? Like, we need to master those things, because we've already mastered these worldly things. We mastered them when we was in the world. You know when December 25th is Christmas Day, right? You know these things. So we need to master this law. We need to meditate therein day and night, so that we can do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. So if you meditate in the law and do everything according to the law, you're going to be prosperous and have good success. Why? Because the Most High is going to bless you. He's going to take care of you. He's going to make sure you're good, right? Because you're keeping his law, you're obeying him. It's a simple formula. We read this in Deuteronomy chapter 28. We've got the curses and everything and the blessings, but you can sum it all up with this: obey and be blessed, disobey and be cursed. And it's as simple as that. So if you want to prosper and have good success, you want everything that you put your hand to be prosperous and to go well and to go right, keep the law. It's as simple as that, right? So let's get into Deuteronomy chapter 6. Starting at verse 1, says, Now these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments, which the Lord your God commanded to teach you, that ye might do them in the land whither ye go to possess it, that thou mightest fear the Lord thy God, to keep all his statutes and his commandments, which I command thee, thou and thy son and thy son's son, all the days of thy life, and that thy days may be prolonged. Salakia. So there's a few things in this verse 2. This verse 2 is hot, because I always go to, Second Ezra and scriptures and Sirach, right, to prove what the fear of the Lord is. I was going to Sirach chapter 2. I'm going to Second Ezra chapter 9 to prove what the fear of the Lord is. Well, we could just literally go to this scripture, Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 2, to prove that the fear of the Lord is code word for keeping the commandments. I go to Second Ezra chapter 2 all the time, chapter 9, Sirach chapter 2, right? Placing that next to Psalm chapter 111 verse 10, next to Proverbs chapter 1 verse 7, and we go through all that, when we could just really sum it up with this verse. Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 2, that thou mightest fear the Lord thy God, right? So to fear the Lord is to do what? To keep all his statutes and his commandments, which I command thee. So if you fear God, you're going to keep the commandments, because that is the fear of the Lord. So that thou mayest fear the Lord thy God, to keep all the statutes and commandments which he commanded you. So the fear of the Lord is keeping the commandments, right? It says, thou and thy son and thy son's son. Does that mean that from the time this was commanded, it's only to that generation, their sons, and then their grandsons, and then it stops there? No. Right, because we read, this is our heritage, right? That's why I always go to Deuteronomy chapter 29 verse 29, and it says the secret things belong unto the Lord our God, but those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever and ever, that we may do all the words of this law. Right, so the secret things belong to the Lord. All the things that he's made secret, they belong to him. But the revealing of it, which is this is the revealing, belongs to us. and to our children, and to our children forever, right? Forever. So every generation, if we was to read this afresh in the next generation, hey, your son and your son's son, then get to that son, so like your son and your son's son, get to that son, your son and your son. It goes on forever because this belongs to us. Okay, the things revealed belong to us and unto our children forever, right? It belongs unto our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law. So we do this law forever, right? So it doesn't just stop at the grandson and then that's it from that generation, right? Like when we go to Baruch chapter 4 verse 1, Baruch chapter 4 verse 1, this is the book of the commandments of God and the law that endureth forever. So the law endures forever. The law doesn't stop, it doesn't end. Just like in Matthew chapter 5. We go to Matthew chapter 5 verse 17. It says, think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy but to fulfill. So Christ didn't come to destroy the law. Don't let anyone teach you that because Christ came you can break the law. You can eat pork and then break the Sabbath day. Because hey, you can ask any Christian, any Christianity person, hey, if I murder, am I cool? If I steal, commit adultery, they'll tell you no. I say idolatry, is that cool? Because that's against the law. They'll say no, you can't do that. Oh, but can I eat pork? Yeah, go ahead. Can I break the Sabbath day? Yeah, go ahead. Let's see what it says about that, right? We're going to come back to that Matthew. Let me get Micah. I don't want Micah. I want Malachi. Let me get Malachi. Malachi chapter 2 verse 9. Malachi chapter 2 verse 9. Therefore have I also made you contemptible and base before all the people. So it's saying that we are contemptible and base before all the people. Why? According as ye have not kept my ways, but have been partial in the law. So for being partial in the law, that's why we're contemptible and base, right? So you can say, oh, can I eat pork? Yeah, Christ died for you. Oh, can I break the Sabbath day? Yeah, Christ died for you. Do I have to keep Passover? No, Christ died for you. Okay, can I murder? Well, no. That's a sin. Can I steal? Well, no, that's a sin. Okay, can I commit idolatry? Well, no, that's a sin. Can I be a homosexual? No, that's a sin. They even make up a sin. Can I drink? No, that's a sin. Drink is not a sin as long as you don't take it too far. But they'll say those things and it's like, you're being partial in the law. So you're going to be base and contemptible, right? You're being partial in the law. You're choosing to do these things, but not to do these things. That's partiality, right? And just like we read, hot or cold. If you're going to be lukewarm and you want to be in the middle and you kind of want to do these ones, but you don't want to do those ones, then guess what? You're going to get spewed out. And you're going to be base and contemptible. It's not going to look good for you. It's not a good look, right? And it's not looking good. Okay? What did Castello say? He said it's not looking good, bruv. I mean, so, to be honest, you want to keep the law. So Matthew chapter 5 verse 17, think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy but to fulfill. So Christ said he's coming to do the law. He's coming to keep what's written in the law and the prophets. Right? He fulfilled prophecies and he kept the law. He fulfilled it. Now they'll take that and say, oh, it's fulfilled. He did it. Well, no. Because I'll take you back to the previous argument. Can I steal? No. Can I kill? No. So it's not done then, is it? He didn't fulfill it all and now we can do what we want. No. When it says fulfill, it means he's coming to do it. He's coming to keep the law and what's written in the prophets. Right? He's coming to fulfill those things. Okay, it says, verse 18, for verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, which it hasn't, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled. So until everything's fulfilled, because heaven and earth has not passed, right? So it said one jot or one tittle, which means one comma, one full stop, meaning none of it. One little thing, it will not pass from the law. No, nothing will pass from the law till all is fulfilled, right? Because heaven and earth has not passed and not everything's been fulfilled, okay? So, jumping back, and it says, we'll just read the verse again. Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 2, that thou mightest fear the Lord thy God to keep all his statutes and his commandments, which I command thee, thou and thy son and thy son's son, all the days of thy life. So you don't just do it for a few years, like it's until you die. And that thy days may be prolonged. So your days will be prolonged, right? You're not gonna destroy your temple, right? You're not gonna be killed by the Most High in judgment, right? He's not gonna judge you to death, right? You're not gonna. Back in the day, you wouldn't get stoned to death if you kept the law. You wouldn't get stoned to death, and the Most High won't kill you by some freak accident or some disease if you keep the law. He'll prolong your days, right? It says, verse 3, Hear therefore, O Israel, and observe to do it, that it may be well with thee, and that ye may increase mightily, as the Lord God of thy fathers hath promised thee, in the land that floweth with milk and honey. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord, and thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. So here's one Lord, there is one Yahweh, there is one God, right? One Yahweh. That's what it says. It says, Hear, O Israel, Yahweh, our power is one Yahweh, right? So basically in the Paleo-Hebrew, that would be Shammai, Yasharala, Yahweh, Alayanawa, Yahweh Akkad. It means, Hear, O Israel, Yahweh, our power is one Yahweh, right? It says, And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. So you got to love him with everything. All of your heart, as in all of your mind. You got to put your mind completely towards the Lord. Don't be going off into other things. Don't be loving money. Don't be loving sex. Don't be money and sex is fine, but don't be loving those things. Don't be making them things you got. You got to love him with all your heart, which is your mind, right? It says and with all thy soul, right? You got to give your soul completely to him too, because what is loving God? Let's get 1 John. It's a classic. Everybody knows this one. Let's get it. 1 John. Chapter 5, verse 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. Right? So his commandments are not hard to do. They're not grievous. They're not bad for you. The love of God is that we keep his commandments. If you love God, you keep his commandments, right? So if you're not keeping the commandments, you can't say you love God, and that's just real. It says so you gotta love him with all your soul and with all your might. So you gotta diligently keep these commandments. You gotta give it your all. Right? It says, And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart, which means they'll be in your mind. Meditate in them day and night. It says, And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. Right? This is what Joshua was getting into in Joshua 1 and 8. Right? We need to diligently teach them to our children, right? You need to teach them to your children, teach them the law, teach them the judgments, teach them what's right and wrong, right? And teach them not to go off. When you see them doing something wrong, you need to tell them, hey, that's wrong. That's against the commandments, right? You see them keeping the commandments, you need to encourage them, right? Reward them as the Most High rewards us. Encourage them to keep the commandments, right? Diligently teach them, right? Have Torah Mondays with your children every day. Have Torah every day with your children, right? Right? That's why it says, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in the house. And when they're sitting in the house, talk about it with your children. And when thou walkest by the way. So when you're out walking or you're out driving in the car, talk about the law with your children, right? You're out walking and you walk past a field, you can quiz them. Hey, son, if I'm hungry, is it lawful for me to take an apple from that tree? They should be able to say, yeah, it's lawful. Okay? And you say, hey, son, what if I bring a basket along and start filling it up? They should be able to say, no, that's not lawful, right? You want to talk about it as you're going, right? Make examples from what you see around you, right? You see a woman just leave her man, he walks away and she hops into another man's car. You say, hey, son, is that cool? What just happened right there? Is that lawful? Right? Assuming that they're, you see her kiss him goodbye and then kiss him hello. You say, son, was that lawful? What just happened right there? So like, I just got a phone call. You say, son, was that lawful? What just happened right there? And he should be able to say no, right? It said, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up, right? And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thine hand, and they shall be as frontlets between thine eyes, right? So that's where they're going to be a sign upon your hand. So you're going to do them, right? and frontlets, Salaki, between thine eyes. That's you're going to talk about them, right? You're going to have them in your mind, think about them, meditate on them, Salaki. And thou shalt write them upon the post of thine house and on thy gates, right? So they need to be on the post of your house and on your gates, right? So that it's a constant reminder, right? And it shall be when the Lord thy God shall have brought thee into the land which he sware unto thy fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give thee great and goodly cities which thou buildest not, and houses full of all good things which thou fillest not, and wells digged which thou diggest not, vineyards and olive trees which thou plantest not. When thou shalt have eaten and be full, because we didn't plant and build these things because the Canaanites were there before us and they did that. It says, then beware lest thou forget the Lord. Right? So when you have all these things, don't forget the Lord. Like it says in Proverbs chapter 30, verse 18, I believe. Let me get Proverbs 30. Hold on. Verse 18. No. Damn, where was it? That's probably, I don't think it's Proverbs chapter 30. No. It's 30 verse 8. Salakia. It says, remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me. So it's saying, don't make me super rich, don't make me super poor. Just give me what I need, right? Because if we get, we'll see why. So feed me with food convenient for me, which basically just means give me just what I need. Don't give me too much, don't give me too little, right? Just give me what I need. It says, verse 9, lest I be full and deny thee and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal and take the name of my God in vain, right? So it's saying, if we be too full, we're going to deny the Lord, right? We're going to deny the Lord and say, who is the Lord? Because you get proud, you get prideful when you're too full, when you're too rich, right? Not everybody does, but it can happen, right? It's likely to happen. Not everybody's going to. Some people are strong enough faith. Some people can endure well enough, but it's likely to happen, right? So Solomon's saying, don't make me too rich, don't make me too poor. Just give me enough for what I need, right? So let me just get back to Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 12. Then beware lest thou forget the Lord, which brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage. Right, so when we have all these things and we're full, we need to beware. So if you are given a lot of money and you are made rich and you are increased, because Solomon was rich, you need to beware, as in be aware, lest you forget the Lord, right? Just like he said in Proverbs chapter 30, verse 9, lest I be full and deny thee and say, who is the Lord, right? Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 13, thou shalt fear the Lord thy God and serve him and shalt swear by his name. Ye shall not go after other gods of the gods of the people which are round about you, for the Lord thy God is a jealous God among you, lest the anger of the Lord thy God be kindled against you and destroy thee from off the face of the earth. So don't be going into idolatry. When you get full, don't be damn worshipping money and worshipping the things that you have, right? You can't go after these other gods, because the Lord is jealous and he will get up with you, right? He will get up with you and deal with you. It says, ye shall not tempt the Lord your God as ye tempted him in Massa. Ye shall diligently keep the commandments of the Lord your God and his testimonies and his statutes which he hath commanded thee. So we need to keep the commandments diligently. We go over that. It's the opening precept. We go over that every single week. Every single week that we do this. I missed last week. But every single week that we do this, we go over that. It says, and thou shalt do that which is right and good in the sight of the Lord, that it may be well with thee, and that thou mayest go in and possess the good land which the Lord sware unto thy father. So we need to do what's right in his sight, that it may be well with us, because then he's going to look after us. He's going to take care of us, protect us, and increase us. It says, to cast out all thine enemies from before thee, as the Lord hath spoken. And when thy son asketh thee in time to come, saying, what mean the testimonies and the statutes and the judgments which the Lord our God hath commanded you? Right, because your children will do that. They're inquisitive. They have young minds. They're trying to learn. They're going to ask you, hey, what's all this about? Why are we doing this? Why do we keep the Passover? Why do we wear these fringes? Right? Why do we not covet? Right? Why do we do these things? That's what your children are going to ask you. And it says, then thou shalt say unto thy son, we were Pharaoh's bondmen in Egypt. So you got to tell him, hey, we was in slavery under Pharaoh. And the Lord brought us out of Egypt with a mighty hand. And then the Lord saved us. He brought us out. He saved us from slavery. The reason why we're free now and we're doing what we're doing is because the Lord saved us out. That's what you need to say to them. Right? Obviously, we're not free right now. We're in captivity right now. But you feel me? Like, especially this is talking about when we just got to the land and everything, because Deuteronomy is just before we went there. In that context, it would have been, hey, you're telling them, hey, we just came out of Egypt. We was in captivity and the Lord saved us, right? The reason why we're here in our land now is because the Lord saved us. And we can still use this today and say, hey, the reason why the bondage isn't so tough now is because the Lord saved us. Or the Lord has decreased the harshness of this captivity. But in time to come, we can still talk about that. Hey, we were slaves in Egypt. The reason why we're not now, because the Lord saved us. It says, and the Lord shewed signs and wonders, great and sore upon Egypt, upon Pharaoh, and upon all his household before our eyes. And he brought us out from thence, that he might bring us in to give us the land which he swore unto our fathers. And the Lord commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear the Lord our God, for our good always, that he might preserve us alive as it is at this day. So it's saying that the reason why, it's saying that if we keep the commandments, it's for our good, right? Just like it says in Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 12. Well, starting at verse 12, it says, and now Israel, what doth the Lord thy God require of thee, but to fear the Lord thy God, which we know what that means, to keep his commandments, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul, to keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes, which I command thee this day for thy good. So that's another cut saying that, the fear of the Lord is keeping the commandments, but it says that we keep these commandments for our good. It's for our good that we don't eat pork, which makes us sick. It's for our good that we rest on the Sabbath day. It's for our good that we put battlements on our roofs so that we can prevent people from falling off. It's for our good that we allow people to eat from our vineyard when they're passing and they're hungry, right? It's for our good that we take in the stranger. It's for our good that we don't kill and we don't steal from each other. We don't kill each other. That we don't covet each other, right? And it's for our good that we don't have any other gods, right? These things are all for our good. The whole law, all of it. Name a bad law. Name a law that's bad for you. Name one. You can't. It's for our good. So don't let anybody ever tell you it's done away with. Okay? Even in 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 8, I believe. Let me see. First Timothy chapter 1, verse 8. But we know that the law is good if a man use it lawfully. So the law is good. If you use it lawfully, if you don't use it to pervert judgment and things like that, the law is good. If you use it lawfully, the law is good. So don't let anyone tell you that it's done away with. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 25. Now, I do want to just remind brothers and sisters. 25 is a classic we always bring out to show what righteousness is by definition, according to the Lord. But one thing you've got to remember is this is still under the answer that we give to our children when they ask us about the law and why we keep it. This is still one of the answers that we give. This is still under that speech. This is what you will say, right? So this is, we use this as a classic to show what righteousness is, because it does show what righteousness is. But one thing about this, we need to teach our children right from wrong. Show them that the commandments is what's good and that breaking it is evil. We need to show them right from wrong according to the law. Right? It says Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 25, and it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before the Lord our God as he hath commanded us. So when your son asks you what's right from wrong, you tell him the commandments is what's right, breaking them is what's wrong. And it's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. So with that, we're going to give Kal Halal La Yahweh Bahasham Hamashiach Yahweh Shai Shalom.